Welcome to Stuff They Didn't Teach Me in Sunday School. Hi, we've been following the cheat, Jacob. His name means cheat. We've been following him as he cheated his brother twice. He cheated his father out of his brother's blessing. He's been cheating his uncle, and his uncle's been cheating him. And now we're watching Jacob go home. There's a problem with going home, and the problem is he's going to encounter Esau. After all these years, how will Esau receive Jacob? What will that reunion be like? And Jacob's not taking any chances in Genesis chapter 22. He's spreading his family out, so if Esau's mad and attacks one part of the family, the other part of the family can still survive. Jacob is uncertain. He's afraid and has good reason to be. In the midst of this comes a strange story. The story makes the Sunday school lessons, but I think we mostly come out of those Sunday school lessons going, what's going on here? The story takes place in Genesis chapter 32, beginning of verse 22. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 maids, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and likewise everything that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. We have a wrestling match overnight. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and Jacob's thigh was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Jacob," or in Hebrew, Yaakov. Then he said, "Your name shall be no more called Yaakov," which means cheat or he supplants, "but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed." Jacob gets a new name. The new name is key to understanding the rest of the Bible. That new name is Israel, and that name means he struggles with God. He struggles or wrestles with God. It's reminiscent of that evening of Jacob's overnight wrestling match, and he's wrestling with none other than God. And I think it points him back to his whole life. You wrestled with your dad, you wrestled with your brother Esau, you wrestled with your uncle Laban over wives and cattle and goats and sheep. But Jacob, the whole time, you've really been wrestling with your God. Israel, in some ways, would live up to that name. The nation of Israel will live up to the name Israel that God gave to this man, Jacob. Israel would spend centuries, sometimes wrestling with God, sometimes ignoring God completely. But the idea that he struggles with God is what's behind that name that God gives to Jacob. Jacob has lived up to it. The nation of Israel would live up to it. But one day, God would send the new Israel, the new one who struggles with God on Calvary's cross, and would struggle on behalf of all of humanity. It's a neat picture of what's to come in this little wrestling match by the river Jabbok.